Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. Let me know who's in the chat, drop a comment below. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, see me, all that good stuff. And we'll get going with this whole thing. Donny C's in the chat, how you doing, buddy? Smash the like button, troops, let's get into it. I thought I'd go live a little bit earlier today. I was just testing a few things out actually in the background on my other channel for the boxing channel. The cameras are all set up. And yeah, I think we're just going to go live. I've titled it Ukraine-Russia Invasion Live Update. I've got a few things that I want to talk on regards that. But I just wanted this to be a bit of an opportunity just to have a chat as well, guys. So, you know, feel free to smash the questions out, all of that good stuff. And yeah, we'll just have a bit of a gingang-gooly. But yeah, I should just put the title just chatting, to be fair, but I mean, that's a bit of a Twitch thing, isn't it? So yeah, got a few things I want to talk about Ukraine, Russia. Maybe do a little bit of a map study, see what's going on the live UA map. And we'll have a bit of a chat. Hey, Scotty Mays, got some members in the chat. Right, I need to see. So that's working. Just playing about with a few things, guys, today. How does the stream quality? Is the stream quality all right? Because when we first started doing this, we had some issues with the whole stream quality before. I think it's all right now. Thirsty Duck says we can hear. Hey, Thirsty Duck, long time no see. I haven't seen you for about 6 months on the channel, unless I've missed you. My memory's a bit bad, to be honest with you. Once we get to like 100 viewers or so, depending on how many people are actually awake, because we got a lot of people from watching from different parts of the world. Believe it or not, a lot of the people who watch the channel, I think, is like 65-70% of all my viewers are from the States. So my viewership tend to watch the channel at like midnight UK time. So it is a little bit. Your camera looks off color-wise. That's because I've been used to using a shitty webcam, and I'm using my old faithful Canon DSLR mirrorless camera now. So I've had to put a few filters and stuff on. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, that's the difference between crap equipment and good equipment. People are not used to it on the channel. And I'm wearing a white top, which is reflecting the studio light. So. Hey, member for 3 months. I can't pronounce Lethal Fetus. Member for 3 months. Happy days, buddy. Welcome back. And the McEwens. Hey, good to see you back here again, dude. You're saying, do you see more countries becoming involved physically with troop deployment? Sounds great. Thanks for your time. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you very much, first and foremost, for the super chat. So. Right, do I see more countries becoming involved physically with troops deployment? So are you talking like boots on the ground type situation? I'll take it that's what you mean. I think as this, to be fair, like if you look at the map, I mean, we'll quickly look at it now. So if you look at the map here, you know, in and around the capital Kiev. You know, you only have to go back a couple of weeks ago to see how much red there was on that map there in and around that region. There was a real worry about them overrunning and taking control of Kiev, which inevitably would have, suffocated the entire country. And they would have overrun the country, so to speak. If you're taking Kiev, takes the country, doesn't it? That's what that's what was being spoken of. And we can see that they haven't been able to achieve that and we've covered that on many different streams, guys. Okay, so what was I going to say? Sorry, I was looking at the chat there, seen something. So yeah, I think, to be fair, as this is going on, there's a lot less red on the map. Yes, the heavily kind of contested areas in the east and the south, but against everyone's kind of initial thoughts, Ukraine is actually holding out, albeit they've got a lot of support and stuff from NATO and other supporting countries, a lot of indirect support as well. I don't know. It's just they're doing a lot better than everyone initially thought. So for me, is there actually a need now? Is there a need now for physical boots on the ground from other countries? Well, I think if they were going to do that, I think the time to do that would have been a couple of weeks ago, a month ago. The fact that we're getting this far, so to speak, and they're doing all right with support from NATO indirectly. I think there's, as time goes on, if things keep on going the way they're going, we're going to see less chances, less opportunities for other countries. Well, one, wanting to get involved, and two, is there going to be a real need for that? Do you know what I mean? That's just my thoughts anyway. But thanks for the super chat question, buddy. If you want to keep on firing away these questions and stuff, troops, we can get it going. Yeah. So what else we got going on here? Wilson feels like the calm before the storm. Going to be an interesting summer. Well, I hope you're wrong, but I know where you're coming from with that. Let me get this map squared away. Why are you doing that? Let's get this map squared away. Yeah, calm before the storm. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, if you look at how things were a month ago, all of the headlines was stating, there's a real nuclear threat, and there's always going to be a nuclear threat with countries that have warheads and stuff, But when we look at it logically, surely, like, we would have seen an inkling of those things, being utilized by now, and I just don't think. I don't know, man. When it comes to nukes and stuff, I think they get used a lot for propaganda purposes. I think a lot of people have become wise to those threats now. I think a lot of people have learned to go, you know what, I'm sick of hearing of this. It's like, well, there's a lot of chit chat, but not a lot of action behind it. There's the people who are behind the threats. Do they really want to use them as well? Because it means the same fate for themselves. It's not like they can get anyone who utilizes a nuclear weapon isn't going to get away with it. Do you know what I mean? Within seconds, within split seconds of those things being actioned, you're going to see other nuclear warheads automatically getting sent into orbit and coming back down right on the country that's detonated them. So these things are, I think, used to keep people scared more than anything. I don't ever see. I honestly don't think, and this is quite a bold statement. I just don't see in my lifetime anywhere. I don't see nuclear warheads ever being used. All right, and I might be wrong. I hope I'm not, but that's just me being. Maybe it's a little bit of. I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it in my lifetime that happening. I think what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki is going to be, forever in our history as being the last time these warheads were utilized in the way they were on a country. I just don't see it happening. But again, I might be naive in that. But my naivety keeps me sane and keeps me able to go to sleep at night without worrying too much about stuff like that. So that's just the way it is, man. Hey, Victor Gruel, nukes, worst invention ever. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, yeah, nuclear warheads, man. Why would they? It's almost one of those situations where do we really need to have something as powerful and as damaging as that? But then we can get into the whole ethics and morality of war as a whole, and it always comes down to the same thing for me. What is the point? There's never really a point worthy enough for the people at the very bottom of society, and I mean at the bottom, like myself included, like the average citizens. It's like, well, what's the real point? When you dig deep enough, it always turns out to be a gain for someone or a very small group of people. There's never really any gain for the people at the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know. War was completely pointless in my opinion, my humble opinion, anyway. Right, so I'm just looking at a couple of you guys. Right, I'm looking at myself actually, just to see what the stream quality is like. So that saturation is actually called. Now, I'm not going to pretend. The thing is, right, before I got into YouTube, I was quite into photography and stuff like that. So now that I've got the ability to kind of cross over a few of those things, I didn't know nothing about videography, as you can tell with most of my early videos. Didn't have a clue. I did used to like a bit of photography back in the day. Going off subject a little bit, but there's things called LUTs. Anyone who knows what a LUT is, it's like a pre-defined color grading thing that you can download from many people's websites. You can create them yourself and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do, and I couldn't really do it on a webcam, I could do it on a professional camera, is I always wanted to use the teal and orange LUT on these videos, because I just think it looks fantastic. It's not to everyone's tasting, but this is more of a personal choice. It's one of those things that I'm doing for me. So that look where the greens of the plant is more green than in real life, and the orange of the tables brought out is something that I'm doing on purpose. All right, that's called a LUT, and it's a predefined teal and orange LUT that I like. So if it's not oversaturated, it's the saturation on this is turned down to about 40% of what the LUT could look like. So yeah, a little bit off topic, but in fact, I'll show you. What. So it's in fact it's on 65%. Let's turn that right up. So that's on 90%. It's not even on 100%. So that's what that looks like. So I'll turn that back down to where it was before. In fact, I'll turn it down to 50. Let's see what that looks. It'll keep you guys happy. So it's not a saturation thing. It's it's just a look, and honestly, I'm quite weird and quite sad in that respect. I've always wanted to have a setup where I can have the teal and orange look. So that's me, guys. All right. So it's it looks like he's all green screen. yeah. Well, this is real behind me. Everything's real. Made that bad boy. Quite proud of the setup, guys. But that's just me being a bit cringy. Wow. What the hell? I've just noticed something come in. Wow, Spencer Ennixon, you were on the channel last time. That's an amazing. Thank you for that very kind super chat donation. Troops, let's get some love in the chat for this guy. Wow, like literally not even. How far are we in? How far are we in? What? 13 minutes and 29 seconds. Jesus Christ. Thank you, dude. I'll never get used to that, by the way. You're saying, I agree. Scare tactics regardless. We are all human beings. First, it's stupid to nuke anywhere. It'll destroy all our lives as inhabitants of Earth. All of us are equal, just my personal point of view. I share your point of view. I share your point of view. We're all equal. We might not we might not all try to at least follow. See, we can get deep into this whole moral conduct type thing. We how can I put this? From what I've seen personally, and amidst all of the scaremongering, and not scaremongering, I'm not talking from like a government level. I'm just talking among ourselves, right? All of the scaremongering we as humans tend to do with each other. Amidst all of that, and amidst all of the bad traits that we have, and all of the isms that we have, amidst all of the wars and everything else, everywhere I've been to quite a lot of places. I'm quite fortunate, generally speaking, and I am generalizing, but generally speaking, people are all actually really nice from what I've found. It doesn't matter what country, even. And the thing that shocked me is when I was going to some of these places, I was going to certain places around the globe, and the stereotype kept us scared of that place. Yet when I got there, be it in the military or with family, it was very different in reality to what I'd perceived. So a lot of this you can scaremonger yourself with bits of information that's not actually designed to do that. It's just how you've interpreted it. But holistically speaking, I believe people are good. I think people are easily led. Generally speaking, people can be, swayed with with information. They don't even have to be swayed with goods or swayed with bribery or anything like that. And just information. Oh, this has came out. I'm just going to follow that. Without really knowing. So I think I can't remember where I was going with this actually, guys. But we're talking about morality. Actually, you were saying about how all of us are equal. I agree. All of us are equal. And I think we're all actually, quite similar in that respect. Wars are terrible things. Don't get me wrong. Like really, really are terrible. But there's one thing for sure. There's not a lot of people actually want it at the bottom. So I do think we've got the power to be able to stop these types of things happening. But it's all about the information we receive, how we interpret that, and what we do with it. And I mean, I'll throw this question out to you guys watching this now. In terms of morality and doing the right thing, based on that, how do you feel about foreign mercenaries in Ukraine and Russia going there and earning money from someone else's struggle, someone else's bad time? How do you feel about that? Because I've been in the circle of the close protection world. That's one of the first things I did when I left the military is get my close protection license, and I wanted to go into that. I wanted to go into that world. For a short period of time, I was even thinking about going into, as we class, hostile environment. So that means going somewhere in the Middle East or Africa and getting paid a large amount of money to do close protection work over there. Those options are still actually on the cards. There's something that I could get into if I wanted to, but morality gets conflicted again when you start thinking about, well, private fire for hire, so to speak, if that's the right phrase. It's just something that I don't know. I don't know if I feel too good about that. I don't know. So long as there's a man getting money for carrying a weapon system and there's people prepared to pay them, we're always going to have a problem. Even if there's, and sometimes the governments get a little bit of stick when actually there's a lot of private companies earning more money and generating a lot of revenue for wars being in place. In fact, I think that's where most of the money gets generated, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, it's an interesting one. What do you guys think about that? While we're on, let's get 100 likes, guys. We've got over 100 viewers in the chat. It's the easiest thing you can do is smash that like button. So I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, white. I'm wearing white, and it seems to be reflecting the light quite a lot. I kind of like that, but people might get sad on because I'm over illuminated. Shark. Right, so that's not a super chat question, but I'm quite happy to. If it's a decent question, I'll fire it on because that's what it's all about. So you're saying explain the differences between conscripts and mercenaries and drafted. There's lots of differences, but fundamentally they're all the bloody same. They're all going to carry weapon systems and do as they're told. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether you're a conscript, a mercenary, or drafted. You're all probably going to get some money for it, some more than others. The mercenaries are the top of the pile for pay. I would say drafted are probably at the top of the pile in terms of potentially getting looked after, and that's not too much more. I would say conscripts are at the top of the pile for the country actually given too much of a damn about them, because if you're going to get conscripted, and I'm speaking in the United Kingdom sense, if conscribes were suddenly to be a thing again, it's because something's happened that the shit is hit the fan, basically. All right, if we need conscripts again. So yeah, there's a real need for you. It doesn't matter what you say, unless you're medically exempt. You're getting your boots on. You're carrying a rifle. We're going to do some training. We're going to send you out to wherever we need you. So the difference is I would say there's more similarities than differences. To be honest with you, buddy. Hey, Victor Garul, thank you very much, dude. You're saying I had a great conversation with a retired Marine, F-18 pilot. He had a ton to say about this war and the Russians' abilities. Let me know. Let's talk about that, Vic. Talk to me, Victor. Oh, did you get my Instagram as well? I did send you a voice note back. Troops, if you want to actually speak to me, as Victor, I do get back to whoever I can. I can't always get back to you, but I do try, especially if I recognise your name. You know, seeing Victor Garul, I'm pretty sure it was you anyway. Sent me a message. I'll get back to you. I'll send you a voice note and stuff because Instagram's the place to do it. All right. Spencer Onyxon, wow, $200 by you, dude. Please, that's enough, man. That's very generous of you, but that's honestly, you keep your money, dude. You're spending way too much on me. Honestly, dude, I appreciate it so much, but please keep. You can't be spending too much, man. Seriously, I'm not trying to tell you what to do either. But yeah. Spencer Onyxon, smash that like button for JNA, dude. Thank you very much for the very kind donations, man. You're super appreciated, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Spencer's Spencer's, yeah. I don't know what to say. This man projects positivity. Much respect. Spread positivity. I try my best, man. I'm not always positive. If you were to live with me every day, you'd see that sometimes I can be quite a, yeah, what's the word? Quite an arse at times, to be fair. But yeah, there's a time and a place to try and be positive. And at the end of the day, we've got to. I take the fact that when you can speak to an audience, and some of my videos, one of my videos has got like 4 million views. I don't take that lightly. I think you've got a little bit of a what's the word? You have got a bit of a responsibility to try and at least, if the information you're going to be given is not the greatest in terms, it's got a sad kind of like the Ukraine war. It's nothing to be happy about, is it? Really, it's a sad thing. It's something that we should be all ashamed of as human beings. Innocent people dying on both sides. Death, full stop, is bad. If you only think that the death on one side is bad and the other side it's like, well, to hell with them, then you really need to have a good long hard look at your own morality, because death's death no matter what side it's on. Okay, there's an alleged good and bad side on every war, and we all get fed with the same information. So if you can be positive at least about the information you're given, and try and give the best information you can without swaying too far left or right, keep it down the middle. Let's have a talk about things. Let's have an open discussion. I mean, that's kind of really where the channels went in the past few weeks and months. I don't profess to be a historian on war. I don't profess to know everything about the military. I served, the best part of 6 years in one of the greatest fighting forces on the planet. Was I one of the greatest soldiers amidst those ranks? Absolutely not. Just a normal guy. I wasn't a high-ranking Marine or anything. I got my first ring on the ladder of promotion. I experienced what leadership was about and stuff like that. I did quite a specialised job, albeit it wasn't to everyone's taste or it wasn't to everyone's liking. It was quite a hard intellectual course to pass. Not because I'm an intellectual person by any stretch of the imagination, but I had a good go at it, and I think you just got to try your best in life. But there's one thing I want to say: this channel, if you're coming here to be completely intrigued by information and it being absolutely accurate and in-depth analysis on tactics and all of that, then this is the wrong place. That's not what I'm about. I'm just a normal guy. I like to have a chat. I like to open the debate, and I like to facilitate the ability for you guys to join in on this and create an interactive channel. So for instance, how am I different from a channel compared to Speak the Truth, for instance, who I'm a massive fan of? Well, for a start, the information that's in that dude's head is phenomenal. That guy knows what he's talking about. I couldn't replicate that if I tried. Okay, so this is a very different way of doing things on the channel, as you can tell. There's no real format to these live streams. I just like to see what goodies is in the chat, and we can kind of debate it. We can talk about it, open up the topic. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's what I like to do. Hey, Beastly, hello from UK, Brit. Way, hey, good stuff, man. Whereabouts are you from in the United Kingdom, son? Let me know where you're watching from. Um, Spencer Onyxon, first, anyone could die of natural causes at any time for no reason. Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. Um, wow, that's just my emotions can sometimes go. I've got a very strange. The way my emotions are very very strange. It seem quite steely and like I've got a built up exterior. But the other day, about a week ago, so one of my very very good friends, he lost his partner who'd been with for like 15 years. I knew of his partner. I knew of her for about the same amount of time as I knew my very good friend. So they've got 3 kids together. It's quite personal, this actually, but he lost that to cancer, and wow, that hit me, man. That hit me. It's like, just to highlight your comment there. Anyone can die at any time. So true, man. It made me reflect on my life so much, actually. That how fragile life is. You just don't know when. You don't know when when your time's up. You just got to make the most of it, man. You just got to make the most of things and do what you want to do and crack on. And you're going to get a lot of hate along the way. You're going to get a lot of love along the way. And the most important thing is it's how you interpret that information in. And if you're getting a lot of positivity, just take that in, man. Take it in. If it was for negativity, the amount of people I've deleted off the channel, comments and all of that, I would never have. If I listened to the negative comments when I first started out, I would never have done this because there was a lot of negativity to start off with. And not afraid to say this either. Not a lot of negativity from from the Royal Marines actually. So it's funny, isn't it? Some of the people who used to give me shit, I'm actually seeing trying to do the same thing on YouTube themselves now. So it's like you just got to spread love and be positive, man. At the end of the day, because you never know what's around the corner for you. You never know, guys. And that's why these wars here. I always kind of think back to my own experience in the military and how I used to think when I was younger. Is so different now. And anyone who's watching this in the chat who's an ex-serving individual or is currently serving in the military, doesn't matter whereabouts. If you've had experience, you'll understand that you think very different when you're young, and it's all hormonal based. It's all about your mindset can be easily led when you're of a young age, and there's a reason why the military is a young man's game, because you can't be easily convinced in your 30s and 40s. You can if you've been in the military a long time, but I saw through a lot of it, and all I can say is if the time came and I needed to, I could do my job to the best of my ability. But would I want to get involved in the things that I wanted to get involved with when I was 20, 21, 22 years old? Absolutely not. Now that I've got a better perspective on life, this is something why the Ukraine. I can look at that and go, bloody hell! It's horrendous what's going on over there. I'm privileged that I don't have to be involved in stuff like that. And I mean that with the utmost respect. Life is fragile. There's a lot of lads in the military who I know have got problems because of the things they've done in war that, years down the line when they're in, 10, 15 years later, they've got kids of their own, families of their own. Their brains is, starting to think, bloody hell, I made some decisions that I had to make, real hard decisions when I was younger that I just don't agree with now. I don't agree with those actions. Would you do them at that age, at this age? No. And that's why I've got a lot of problems with mental health in the military community that people don't want to talk about. It's because of it's not just the things they've seen. We tend to look at it like that. It's the things that they've unfortunately had to do. All right, and that's a bit of a topic that not a lot of people will want to talk about, but a lot of people agree because, trust me, guys, I've got a lot of friends in the military. I've got a lot of guys who have served who open up to me. We might not talk about it online, but this is the truth from what I've spoken to people about. From guys, hardened war veterans, tell you they'll not tell a camera, they'll not tell the world, but that's the truth behind it. All right, they just. But we don't want to talk. People don't want to talk about that. I don't know if it's like the glamorization of war. I don't know what it is. It's a strange one, guys. It is, man. It's a strange one. Just going to pick a random comment here. I am Wee Johnny. You're saying my old regiment during the 90s had 57 tanks. We were informed that we'd be facing 10 times that number in the USSR if the USSR attacked. I'm glad it didn't happen. Exactly, man. You know, and you're around obviously now to tell those tales. But I've got friends who told me about when they served in Germany and stuff, when Germany was still a active posting for the British soldiers, you know, very active over there in the 80s and 90s in terms of being based there, and telling me that, you know, the standby procedures and timings that they were given, and it was a scary time still. And I think, you know, a lot of those guys, if you asked them, are you happy you done it, would say yes. If a lot of the guys, if you ask them, are you happy that you're around now still? Most of them be like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad things didn't materialize back there. But everyone seems to regret war. Everyone regrets. And if they don't regret being part of it, they regret it ever happening in the first place. Do you know what I mean? I know let's not confuse what I'm saying with being proud. Everyone I know in the military was proud to serve and everything else. But there's a lot of guys and a lot of girls who would go, you know what, if I didn't have to experience certain elements of it, it would have been a bloody good job, you know. And the things I used to wish for when I first joined, I certainly don't wish for now. And I don't care what anyone says about that. I don't care even if some of my mates were like, oh, well, you know, I don't care. That's just my honest opinion, my honest belief, guys, okay? But troops, thanks for stopping by. If you've just joined the chat, welcome, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Let me know in the comments where you are watching from, if we can smash those like buttons. And yeah, we're just having a bit of a chill catch-up tonight. We're talking predominantly Ukraine, but it's also for a opportunity for us to chat, get a coffee and stuff if you want. I'm on the water tonight, and you know, just hang out, I guess, guys. But welcome. Right, what we got? This is some good things coming here. Tom Sellers, you're saying my mate was based in Munster, Germany for a bit. He was King's Royal Hussars. He served in Kosovo. I actually worked with someone who went actually quite high up in the ranks in the Royal, in the Hussars, and also he went to Kosovo. And I've heard quite a few stories from that individual as well. Yeah. Beastly, West Yorkshire, Bradford here, sir. Hey, not too far from me then. Bradford. I had quite a few fights in Bradford in my earlier boxing days. Good stuff. Team Skeptic, great to catch you live, big bro. Hey, good to see you here, man. Hey, Skeptic, actually, you sent me an email, and the answer is yes. So whenever you want, let me know. Guys, actually, go follow Team Skeptic. I haven't had a massive chance to check out his channel, but it's pretty good production-wise, all right? And yeah, hopefully you'll see me on his channel very soon. What else we got? From Canada, Gabe from Canada. Love from Detroit, Chris Frederick. Where else are we from? Tom Sellers is on the New England IPA tonight. Awesome, man. Chris Alger coming to you from Florida. This blows my brains, right? I know it's obvious and it's like, well, duh, but the way like YouTube works is, I just think it's crazy that you can build an audience from literally all over the world and interact. That's why I love YouTube. I know a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say, but I've honestly only ever had great experiences from being on the platform. YouTube to me is the best job on the planet. I love it, man. I'm talking to you guys and people from all over the place. Jazza is from New Zealand. And it's morning. Great show, and thanks for your service, mate. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. There we go. We've got guys in Florida, people in Bradford, people in bloody New Zealand, Immortal Warbirds from Texas. We got John Miller from New York. We got Daniel from Los Angeles, Cali. That's amazing, man. Victor Garul, Southern California, finally having a beautiful day here. Good stuff, man. We got J Dub from Kent, UK Southerner. Awesome, man. I didn't think I've only got about 4%, about 4.5% of my audience is from the UK. Believe it or not. Like, I thought how YouTube would work is you'd get a lot more followers from the country you pertain to, but nah, like, America showed me so much love. India as well. I have to give India credit. I don't know how or why, but India just literally blasted through the ranks when I first started, and Sweden as well, because I was doing the Jägersoldat series. If you haven't seen the Jägersoldat series, the Swedish Rangers / Hunter Soldiers, all right. It's a fantastic documentary, all right, about the about their capability and what they can do. But when I was in the Royal Marines, all right, you get trained to a point of, although you're humble, and I think that humbleness is actually, I don't think it's it's certainly not in the syllabus. Like, right, we're gonna have a week of training you to be humble, but the process of commando training humbles you. And it makes you appreciate, having a responsibility of being part of something great, but also being able to appreciate others who maybe won't have the same appreciation for their job, or won't be appreciated by others for the job that they do as much as I knew that we were appreciated in the Marines. And that humbleness definitely carried you further in the eyes of people who you're working with. And I've carried that from the military to appreciate, doesn't matter if you're a chef in the Navy to a Special Forces operator, although the mission set is very different, you're all signing up to do the same thing. So I respected everyone, but that only kind of existed within my own military, the UK, the UK. Once we started stepping outside that, I noticed that the ego would be there, and it was very, very common with all of us. The only guys that we didn't really have that kind of ego with was, by default, the US Marines. From the Royal Marines perspective, being a Marine, it was a Marine thing. But when it came to, like, the Dutch Marines and stuff, although we knew they were fantastic, there was a bit of competitive ego there still. Like, oh, we're better than you guys, even though it was like we didn't really know if we were or if we weren't. So that ego didn't allow me to, one, grow as an individual and learn about other military organizations around the planet. I only kind of got to know about other militaries and their capabilities since doing YouTube, really. And when I did the documentary reaction on the Jägersoldats of Sweden, although there's definitely differences in skill set and abilities, some of the things that I watched, and I went into this with an open mind, with the same type of attitude, although I didn't tell you guys this at the time, of that ego of, I think Royal Marines are the best on the planet. Yet there's a lot I learned from that show that I was like, wow, they might not be good in this way compared to us, but they're bloody a lot better at doing this, and their training might not make sense to us in that way, but in other ways it does. And it opened my eyes up to the possibility that although the Royal Marines are a fantastic organization, brilliant at many things, there's other organizations out there militarily who are bloody also really capable. They might have a very different dynamic, but they're also really, really good at what they do and where they do it. So the Arctic warfare type stuff, the Swedes, they live in a cold part of the year. It's very, very cold over there. They do things very differently. It's just, I don't know. I learned a lot. And I think that's the most important thing with being humble. If you try to be humble in the presence of others who know stuff, you might actually learn something, and you don't have to take everything from them. If you can learn something from someone, then that can only be a positive thing. Sometimes ego gets in the way of that. It acts as a barrier for your own learning, for your own growth. That's what I've learned, and it's the same kind of mentality I would say in business. Not that I'm a business expert by all means, but if I was to give one bit of advice, if no matter what you do, is surround yourself with people who know more than you. Surround yourself with people who know more than you about other things, and it's okay that you don't know about certain things if they know those things. Surround yourself with those people. You don't need to be the master of all things. If you want to run a bank, for instance, you don't have to know everything about banking. Surround yourself with people who do know everything about banking collectively, and you'll be successful. I think that's where people kind of stop themselves in the military. It's you don't. Yeah, it's an ego. I know we're going off topic slightly, but we always do on the channel, don't we? So I'm going to pause and have a little look at what's going on in the chat. Victor Gruel, Chris Supertramp, US Army veteran from Lower. Thank you for your service, brother. I've seen you on the channel quite a few times. Hey, we got Le Diamond Dog. Hey, buddy. How you doing, man? How you doing? What else have we got? Is this slightly... Daniel Castro, I see that you're a big fan of Ali. What is your opinion on Iron Mike Tyson when he was in his prime? Right, I've got to be honest, right? In terms of being a big fan of Muhammad Ali, I used to be when I was younger. I'm not so much now. When I learned how he just do some research on how he treated a fighter called Joe Frazier. Now, it's not horrendous by any stretch of the imagination, but I love Joe Frazier. And Joe Frazier didn't get the credit he deserved when he basically aided Muhammad Ali after he's gone through all of his court stuff for the Vietnam War draft thing. He actually, he treated Frazier really bad. So I appreciate Ali's spectacular ability as both a boxer and a human being. He did great things, but I'm not that much of a fan of him boxing wise. Is he top 10 for me? Heavyweight division, maybe, but of all time of other boxers, I don't think he's in my top 10. In fact, I'm telling you now, he's not in my top 10. Actually, the guy on the bottom, although he was a bit of a tyrant in life, if you look into his story, Sonny Liston, he was allegedly controlled by the mob. So if you look at his story, it's a tragic one. I'm more of a fan of the guy who's had the struggle and the hardship and stuff like that. And Sonny Liston is that picture there is more for him, actually, believe it or not. So I still love Ali. I think he's been fantastic for the world of sport, never mind boxing. But I'm more for the guy on the deck, actually. What we got? Hey, Spencer Onyxon again. Thank you, dude. Jesus, man. You're saying unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to be better. It's not Dr. Seuss. Yeah. I appreciate your super chat, man. Thank you, dude. Tom Sellers is in the Arctic training the Royal Marines doing Norway looks fun. Yeah, it can be, but speak to the lads who actually do it every year. I've got one of my best friends. I've got like two best mates for loads of different reasons, and we're all best mates kind of in this little trio kind of mate group we've got. And he's pretty much in Norway 3 months of every year. Every single year, man, he gets deployed there. So it's like, yeah, ask him how much he loves Norway after getting deployed, a quarter of the year every year. Is it fun? Carl Graneth, your profile picture is awesome. And I'm going to start calling you Carl Granite. You should look up Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland new uniforms. Right. Let's look that up. I'll bang it on the screen a second. 2 seconds. Right. Let's have a look at this. Uh, I don't know if this is the new uniform, but we'll have a look on here. Oscar Pedersen will supply the Nordic combat uniform system for Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. Is that it? Is that it? The system contains uniform configurations from underwear to outer garments. Is that the one, is it? A vanilla gorilla greeting from Guam. That's awesome, man. Tom Selleck's Tyson Fury is pretty good. In my humble opinion, I've got Tyson Fury, and I've got a lot of reasons why. But in terms of at this moment, I don't think there's a heavyweight who would have beaten Tyson Fury just off the sheer side. We forget about look, Mike Tyson's fantastic, but so is Tyson Fury. But he's 6'9", 279 pound, fantastic. Like you can't. There's only so much you can do until size really does matter in terms of boxing ability. You know, let's face it, right? You had that beast from the East guy, 7'4" something, who David Hay fought, but Tyson Fury would have annihilated the beast from the East. So he was a big dude, but he wasn't the most gifted boxer ever. All right, and he was very, very hard to beat. The fact that he was massive. Now, Tyson Fury is a similar height, but is actually exceptionally good at boxing. So that's one thing that I think we need to remember with Tyson Fury. You might not like him as much as Mike Tyson, or you might not like him as much as Lennox Lewis, but you have to understand it's not. Forget about the likability. You just have to look at the actual gift that he has and the ability and the size that he is. It's not really going to be matched. I don't think at this moment in time it can be matched. And I'll tell you now. I think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, but he's not my favorite heavyweight of all time. My favorite heavyweight of all time is Mike Tyson, without a question. All right, and in my heart, I would love to be able to say I believe Mike Tyson beats anyone on the planet in his prime, but I don't think he beats Tyson Fury. It's just the size, it's his ability, do you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be logical about it. I know we're going off topic with boxing and stuff, but the question was there, so I answered it. Spencer Onyxon, why hasn't anyone invented bulletproof underwear? I think they've got there's ballistic proof and there's Kevlar stuff that you can wear for your gonads and stuff, but there's but what is bulletproof? You know, what's technically if you can fend off an air rifle round or slug or pellet, it's bulletproof, but it ain't going to stop a 9mm. But something that can stop a 9mm is technically bulletproof, but it's not going to stop a 5.56. Something that's technically that can stop a 5.56 is technically bulletproof, but can it stop a 7.62? So there's a massive parameter of what bulletproof actually is. I think we need to understand that a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? That's my take on it anyway. Hey, Chris Supertramp. I always enjoyed watching Lennox Lewis. Yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. I think I'll be honest. I don't really. I wasn't a massive fan of Lennox because he just wasn't my type of fighter in terms of his style and stuff. But what a fantastic man! To the point of which I think the only guy on the planet who could really, really give Tyson Fury a good run for his money would be Lennox Lewis. I think Lennox Lewis gives him a good run for his money. So yeah. Hey, Tristan Greathead. Thank you very much for your super chat. Make sure you get a question in there, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, my friend. Hey, Spencer, anytime, dude. It's the least I can do for how much you've contributed today, dude. Like I say, that's extremely kind of you. Without boring you, it goes. It goes a long, long way. So I appreciate it more than you'd ever imagine, or maybe you do understand how much I appreciate it, which is the reason You've been, yeah, maybe you do, man. Tristan, wild last name, I know, but no problem. Just a tip. Appreciate the live streams and the videos. Hey, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate you stopping by. Carl Granite. It's tens here in Sweden and Finland, but I'm ready to fight. And that's what I interpreted the dagger for. Let's go. A lot of boxing stuff coming in here, but it's okay. We can do it. Jenny Commander, you think Lennox Lewis was good due to skill, physical size, or both? Could Holyfield have beaten him if he was the same size? This is the thing with Holyfield. We need to start doing this on the other channel, actually, the Just Boxing channel that I've got. But we'll answer this question regardless. Evander Holyfield, right? This is very, very. If you don't know, you'll be like, "Oh no, you can't be saying that." But for the research I've done, understanding how these things work, he was on steroids, on quite a lot of steroids as well. It was alleged that his dad had a heart problem or some form of problem where he had to get steroids, in his name, but he to the address of his father, basically. But it doesn't take a brain box to know that the person he was getting trained was like a former Mr. Olympia and heavy steroid user. His hair started falling out. He put on a lot of size. He was actually quite a small cruiserweight. Never mind a small heavyweight. He was a small cruiser, and he put on a lot of size. Do I still love Holyfield? Absolutely. He's got to train for that. But the guy was doping. Would he be able to get away with that now with the way people are tested and stuff? Absolutely not. So if he existed in today, he wouldn't be half as good as he was. He wouldn't be a heavyweight, that's for sure. So the guy was a drug cheat as far as I'm concerned. Do I love him? I love him, But a lot of boxers back then were probably doing the same thing, Tristan says, I don't know if you've already covered it, but the United States switching rifles from the M4 to the M5, what kind of changes do you believe it will cause to offensive or defensive operations? Well, let me I tell you what, I don't know too much. Like, believe it or not, I'm not like a massive weapons guru. Let me have a look. So right, let's have a look at this. So they're changing from M4 to an M5, right? So the M5 is a carbine, is that right? I believe it's a carbine. Right, so if I'm right, and if someone can confirm this with me, I believe it's a carbine variant. So anyway, we'll just talk about what a carbine variant of an already quite a big weapon system will do. It gives you that flexibility to utilize it in an urban environment, close quarter combat, all of that type of stuff. And if we're honest, when they did tests on these things on range and stuff like that, and in all honesty, if you've got a weapon system capable of like doing, but like I'm not gonna be too graphic with this, so I'll use a melon for example. This weapon system is capable of blowing a melon to pieces within 1,000 meters or something like that, right? That's great, but how many of those situations are actually going to warrant that actual use? And they did tests on these things. What's the actual point? For the maneuverability, for its ability to be able to utilized in smaller situations and stuff like that. For the wars that have been fought, is there any real need to have ranges in excess of that? And the answer in most cases is actually, well, no, we don't even need that, So a carbine variant of an already bigger weapon system, it gives you the flexibility to still get rounds downrange. People forget, you know, when you're talking about these weapon systems, 5.56 or 7.62, whatever sizes. I mean, those things, if they're firing at you, and you've got a semi-skilled marksman capable of getting the rounds down range, 300 meters, still going to be extremely effective. You've got to think about this logically, guys. 100 meters away is actually quite far. 200 meters away is really far. 300 meters, you know. So we were doing shoots with the SA-80 5.56. You know, quite distance shoots. But you know, you think about if you're shooting at someone that far. In many situations, they quite simply weren't, and there was no real need to it. So I believe that there's the downscaling in terms of size for, and they're going for maneuverability to be able to fit in different types of vehicles as well. Some of these bigger weapon systems are real cumbersome, all right, and hard to maneuver. I know I was a GBMG gunner. That bloody beast was a real pig. It weighed a ton. It was massive. Heavy, unless you're, you know, I had to train, do a lot of weights and do strength training to be able to throw that thing around and utilize it effectively. But that was what I did. There was some real big guys who were able to throw that thing around even more, firing from the hip type thing. But unless you were that guy, you're not doing much with that other than the prone position and like it was intended for. But a very, very heavy bit of kit, so you were limited. Now, the new variants, the new versions of the GBMGs, which I believe they're going to be bringing out, I knew there was like prototypes being built a couple of years ago. They looked absolutely amazeballs. I did a reaction on it, to be fair. Instead of weighing like 15, 16 kilograms, these GBMG equivalents are going to like weigh 4 and 5 kilograms or even less. And the LMG variant, which is just a smaller carbine version of that original one we've just talked about, weighs like 1-2 kilograms less. So in real situations, the pounds do add up and they do matter an awful lot, you know. But yeah, troops. Right, we've got 266 concurrent viewers in the chat. Troops, smash the like button if you don't mind. I know people, 1 or 2 people send the odd comment. I can't believe you've told me to like your video. How dare you? It's like, well, you know what? It's a bit like you coming to a car garage and I'm the salesman and not asking you if you want to buy a car. It's kind of what we're supposed to do, right? You know what I mean? There's one things I'll never ask you to do in the chat. I'll never say give me money. All right, I'll never say that. There might be some subliminals in there, but that's what a good salesman does. All right, but there's one thing that I've got no shame in saying every now and again. Troops, smash the like button. You know what I mean? It's free. It's free to do. Rant over anyway. Brandon Allen, I can't let you say things like that, mate, on the chat. Hey, come on, buddy. I'm going to hide that, aren't I? Hey, Brandon, I can't let you say stuff like that, mate. So if you keep on saying things like that, you're going to get your ass banned. You know what I mean? Hey, little Dickens too. Can't let you say things like that either. I know you're angry at certain countries, but you can't be saying things like that. You know what I mean? We've got to be semi decent on the chat, haven't we? Let's go to screen 1. Actually, screen 1 gets the full beret in. The coveted green beret. This is my pride and joy, this. Some people might say it's pretty sad. It's just a piece of cloth. It's just a piece of green cloth. But honest to God, that I remember the day I got this. I remember the day I got to wear this officially as a Royal Marine, and I was parading. We'd just done our pass-out parade. We just did our pass-out parade, and we were marching down the main drag, ready to go to our block, get our kit, and then leave camp forever as a recruit, leave as a Royal Marine. I remember looking at my dad on the left-hand side as we were marching down. He was proud as punch, and I remember welling up a bit inside, but I can't show this. Best, not even a feeling. It was like a mark of like, wow, fear, pain and adversity for like 8.5, 9 months or whatever, enabled me to figure out who I am as an individual over a prolonged period of time. It can give you a cast iron determination that most people won't be able to understand unless they've been through that, you know. But yeah, what a feeling, man. So yeah, you can, if you put yourself through hardship for a long enough time, you can actually learn to love something as mundane as a piece of green cloth like that. But as yeah, it's my little 50 pence worth on the Green Beret there. What's the crack? Any more questions, troops? 244 of you in the chat. There's got to be at least 244 questions. Smash the questions below. We'll start getting the chat going. Let's go. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Let's get the questions rolling in. If there's any decent ones, they'll get highlighted on the screen. Let's see if we can get some questions on Ukraine and see what the crack is. D. Richards, a lot of history in that green cloth. Certainly is, buddy. Yeah, a lot of history indeed, man. Cheers from Brooklyn, New York. Golden Reviews. Golden Peter Reviews from Brooklyn. Never been to Brooklyn. Always want. I need to go to that part of the world, man. Really do. Coin Laser Gamer, do you think Transnistria will light up soon? I've got to be brutally honest, I don't know. Tom Sellers question. When the hell the British Army going to change from our SA-80 A3? It's been around since I was a young man. I don't know specifically for the Army, but the Royal Marines have done away with it anyway. We have a new weapon system now, more fit for specialist purposes. I think, generally speaking, for a lot of the Army, I'm not talking about the infantry groups, your rifles, and all of the other infanteers and the Coldstream Guards and that. I think the SA-80 A3 is probably suffice for a lot of the Army. But for some of the more specialised infanteers out there, Recce, Parachute Regiment, I think they're already probably looking at the model that we've taken in the Marines, only recently done away with the SA-80 and starting to use better quality weapon systems fit for purpose. But I think it is. I think the SA-80 is fit for a lot of the purposes that the majority of the Army do. But I can't speak for some of the specialists. I would like to see the Paras probably upgrade a weapon system. But again, jumping into battle with all of the kit they've got, I do believe it's all right. It's but there is better weapon systems out there. But I'm one of the few guys who actually didn't really mind the SA-80. Yeah, the earlier variants were shit, but the A3 I think is a pretty good bit of kit. Spencer Enixon again with a super chat. He's saying, if you don't like what this dude has to say, leave. There's an X top right of your screen. Click it. Hey, please don't click it. I need you guys to watch the video. I get what you're saying though, Spence. Team Skeptic, Dit Commando, given the situation in Ukraine, do you think this will be the perfect storm for China to take Taiwan? Or any of the other major territorial disputes to pop off, India, China, North, South Korea. So, right, okay, let me try and digest this a bit. I can understand why people think China might hijack this situation to exploit Taiwan, and there's already problems over there. I think what's going to happen over there is going to happen anyway, irrespective of what's happening in Ukraine. Do I think it's going to suddenly motivate individuals to do more and start putting more pressure on and acting upon their motives? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to see like an escalation of what China does as a result of Ukraine just because it's Ukraine. I don't think that's how it works. But I can understand how it's going to bring more attention to people like us of what's actually going on over there, because not a lot of people, generally speaking, had a damn clue that what China was doing with regards to Taiwan anyway. I didn't think most people would be aware of that, but it's going to create an awareness of things that's problematic in certain countries. India, China, yeah, they've always had their problems, really. In all honesty, I think India kicks China's ass anyway. That's just my honest opinion. I think in terms of the skill set that they have in certain regions, I think India, one, they've got a lot of manpower, they've got pretty big budget, and some of the warriors over there are just that, they're warriors, and they're pretty good in the mountains. So I don't think anything changes because of the situation in Ukraine, if that makes sense. Hey, Carol Hamilton, ex-boot from South Shields, what do you think of the lowering of standards in training? I'm guessing Bootneck, you're saying there. There's only one guy I know from South Shields who, I don't know if he's an ex-Bootneck. The name doesn't match with yours. I'm not going to mention his name. I actually went through commando training with him in 2005. Went back into commando train 2011, 12, whenever it was, and saw that he was a corporal or a sergeant, I think. But he wasn't too keen on talking to me. So that's the person that I know from South Shields. I was through South Shields today, actually. Good to have you on the show. Appreciate your support, man. Anyway, answering your question, what do you think of the lowering of standards in training? Right, okay, so what I will say, when were you in training? Because I've got a great question. I've got a great answer for this from my understanding and my actual experience. Not many people I know, the people do rejoin the military, but I got actually quite far through training the first time, left for family reasons, all right, bereavement. And I'm not going to bore you with that, but I left for personal reasons, okay? Very young lad. Standard of training then I thought was extremely hard to get through a normal day because of the level of thrashings that you had. There was a lot of thrashings, a lot of physical thrashings, but after a while, I got really, really used to those thrashings to the point of which it didn't really affect me mentally anymore. And because we were quite fit, it didn't really feel that it was a punishment. That's what it felt. So the big difference from the first time I went in, the second time I went in, I actually found the second time harder. Physically, it was very, 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 very similar. All of the tests were the same. In fact, the tests to get in the second time were a little bit more strict and stringent. Bottom field was harder in preparation. Physically, amidst everyone thinking it was lowering of standards, I thought it was a harder gig to get through. And for this main reason, the physical side of things end up evening out somewhere down the line, all right? You get used to thrashings. The thrashings were more prominent in the first time I went through. That was what was different. But the working day was still bloody tough. But the second time around, the amount of stuff that we had to learn, that kept us up at night, so you weren't allowed to get thrashed after a certain time. They couldn't come into your grots and your rooms and start hammering you like they used to do. But you got stuff that you need to get done by the next day, which you'd get thrashed for anyway. So, it all evened itself out. But there's a lot more to learn in commando training now, a lot more kit and equipment and stuff that just wasn't there. So all in all, I think it evened itself out. So from my personal experience of what I experienced, generationally, 2 different times of going through commando training, they both evened themselves out. And what I've found is you speak to the generations even before I joined the first time, they're saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing. The lads who are joining now are going to be saying the same thing. But at the end of the day, I put it like this: it's just a different time. It's not it's not easier, and everything is all subject to your stance on things and your viewpoint. So, yeah, I don't think it's any easier, if that makes sense, from my personal experience anyway. You'll always get generations before saying it's harder and it's this, that, and the other, but I get it. I do get it. Hey, Spencer, buddy, I appreciate you again. Before I use yen, I'll burn my money. Thank you, dude. Team Skeptic went through basic in 1999. First day at Great Lakes had a high temperature of 8 Fahrenheit. They didn't care. We still marched through the blizzard 3 times a day. They don't do that today. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. I do get it. The Cedric, you're saying China's been trying to interfere in Solomon Islands and Tahiti as well as interfering in Philippine elections. Right. So, what's your thoughts on this then? I've been watching a few different things about how China goes into countries, third world countries, develops them with infrastructure and stuff like that. The country can't pay them back. They're indebted to them. And then effectively, indirectly, it's become part of China. It's not. Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that? We see them doing a lot of development in East Africa, for instance. For what do you think the agenda is behind that? Da, 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 da. Zoltoid says, "Do you think the reports of Putin potentially escalating the conflict on the 9th of May have any basis of truth, or do you think it's all propaganda?" Let me read that. Do you think that the reports of Putin potentially escalating the conflict on the 9th of May? Are you talking about because there's going to be like a parade or something? Is that what you're in reference to? Is that what you're talking in reference to? Because I don't know. Godzilla is attacking Moscow. I'm just reading some of the chat, guys. What are you saying? Right. Anyway, let's. I want to have a bit of a map study, troops. So let's do it. Right, I'm going to highlight this last one from you, Spencer, because that's unbelievable, man. $100, man. Jesus. We'd be retired soon if we had more people like you, man. Right, map study. Boom, enter. Right, so yeah, like if we went back a couple of months, like a month ago, quite a bit of red in this region here. So quite embarrassing, really, for Russia in that respect, focusing all of their efforts in the eastern region, obviously being successful with that. There was talks of them getting troops from all over the place. They've got mercenaries on the ground aiding with the efforts, paid private contractors. A lot of red there, guys. A lot of red. In fact, I think the last time we did this, they weren't across this river, were they? In fact, I'm pretty sure they weren't. So they've made headway there. In fact, yeah, they weren't there. So they're making quite a lot of progress actually in that regard. What's going on here? Big explosion reported in Mykolaiv region. 12:03, a missile was launched. Can't click on that, but we can see it. Da, 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 da. There's a lot of stuff going on here. What's happening there? Ukraine video that shows the destruction of a Russian Tor anti-aircraft system by Ukrainian drone. Oh, let's look at this. What's going on here? Let's get this zoomed in a bit. Zoom in a bit more. Is this going to open the Twitter feed? It is. Right, there's not a video showing on this though, is there? Ukraine, blah blah blah. Right, what's this? Actually, has that blown out the sound on there? Is this loud? Yeah, it is. Let's turn that down a bit. Right, can't understand what they're saying, so I'm not going to pretend to. Right, I literally can't understand what he's saying, so. Right, I don't know what's going on. Oh, his missile's been. Was that a rocket launcher there? It was, wasn't it? On the left hand side here, if you look. That was a rocket launcher or something, I'm pretty sure. Whoa, mate, do you see that? That's absolutely crazy, man. Jesus. Biggest. I thought, wow. Jesus Christ, this is insane. Right, I'm going to quickly go back onto this screen, man. I need to say thank you to this Curtis Reynolds. Thank you for your service. Keep bringing the news, brother. Wow. I'm humbled by that. I don't expect anything either, guys, honestly. It's like you'll never hear me asking for that, but I don't expect it. I don't feel I deserve that. That's an immense amount of money from you and Spencer. You and Spencer, man, that's wow. I do not deserve that amount. That's the city. Yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, brother. Wow, don't know what to say, man. That's just taking me by surprise. I'm just watching. What is this? All right, there's a building. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Obviously, that building there looks like a normal street. It's had the roof. Looks like the roof damaged on there. Let's have a look at these. Heavy artillery. It looks like there's artillery going on there. That shocked me, that Curtis, man. I don't know what to say about that. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, heavy artillery fire there. Definitely getting the rounds down, 100%. What's going on here? These videos are pretty cool. Mate. Let's turn this up so you can hear this a bit. Listen to this, man. If he better have ear defenders in. I can't understand what they're saying on this, so that's the only problem. What's going on here, dudes and dudettes? I don't think there's much happening on this. Fast forward. It's just showing some of the damage. You know, this could be like anywhere. We could be looking at anywhere with this stuff. That's insane. Whoa! What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, man? Patrick Seward Jr. Have a few beers and keep with the good work. I'm going to have a few beers after this to bloody calm myself down. Ah, man, getting me emotional, guys. I don't know what to say, man. I'm glad you guys are patient who's watching this because it must be terrible watching me pause like this all the time. This is thank you, brother. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Man. I don't deserve that. Don't no one who deserves that. But I don't. Hey, I don't know. Jesus, man. Jay, you are a legend, my man. Thank you for dropping knowledge to us on a daily basis. How has the US and the UK intel been so good? Leaks from SSB, corruption inside the FSB, or what? I'm still taken back by by the generosity here. Seriously taken back by the I honestly, I don't know what to say to like. Thank you. It just seems really cheeky. I don't. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. Jay says, I think well, to answer your question, mate, just try and get a bit of composure back in. Is the I think the United Kingdom and US have probably the greatest intelligence services on the planet. Although I wouldn't want to give them credit, China has also great intelligence services. Just because you look at the operatives they're training, I believe it's like I might be wrong, like 4 or 5 years long or something. So, but we had the blueprint for Intel, so it goes without saying it's going to be on top form as far as I'm aware. In terms of what I know about that, that's as far as my knowledge goes. All right, but I do know it's among the finest, and I know everyone wants to say they've got the best in the world, but the UK, the US, your Israel's, your China's, their intelligence services are just phenomenal. It has to be admitted. Wow, Spencer. Spencer, you're a good dude, man. Keep it real. You're a good dude, man. You've given way too much tonight. I told you to stop on the first one. you know, wow. Um, Roth, Kane, generous listeners. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's humbling to say the least. I'm humbled in your presence. 229 viewers. I am humbled in you guys' presence, man. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys. This is taking me back a bit, guys, just for literally talking to you. You know, it's, you know. Whoa! Don't have a look at that. Got to be a bit careful with what I show. Some mad stuff on it. In fact, if it's on Twitter, should be all right. Really, I'd guess. Is that how it works? Wow, you guys are really, really kind. So we only clicked on here to look at these pictures. Actually, this was right. Are they special forces or what? Oh, Wagner Group. Right. Anyone know about this Wagner Group? If you can let me know. I've heard a lot about these. I haven't looked into it too much. These guys are like spec ops guys, or are these mercenaries? These people don't mess about. Are these friendlies or foes? What's the crack with these then? What's happened there? Wow. That's a drone, obviously. So there's no sound on this video. It's a drone, that's why. But Jesus, some form of shelling. That looks like some kind of refinery, big power plant factory. It's getting absolutely hammered. I mean, big reason for that, big reason for anything like this to happen is whatever they're producing there is of great use to Ukraine. If this is Ukraine, I can't actually translate it effectively, but it would make sense. You take out infrastructure, you stop the ability to be able to create whatever it is they're creating. Fuel would be a priority to stop fuel lines transporting oil, gas to and from, suffocate them from the within. It could be munition factories where they're creating, weaponry, creating stuff for the weapon systems that they use. Them are the big areas that of interest. That's destruction. This place has been hammered. I don't want to say it's an oil refinery or something like that, just off the fact that it's it would have been right up in a blaze there. But they're creating something, they're making something there of use and interest, that's for sure. Just some more explosions on a night time here. It's something quite, I don't want to say pretty about the whole thing there, but you know, there's something quite awesome about how that looks. But you know, the devastation on the other side of it is something that we should never forget. You know?
Все в порядке, спасибо зарядки.
Tanks going about the business. Give me the shivers that did there. Ah, that looks like the others. How loud's that? That looks like the other side of the oil refinery. The factory that we've just been looking at. It's kicking off. So I've just seen something there. The Cedric is saying the Wagner Group has a lot of neo-Nazi folk. Wagner Group is a paramilitary group used by Putin to skirt around Geneva Conventions. Ah. No, I agree. Red Dome, thank you, Don, for all you do. Modern is very much underappreciated and thankless. I absolutely agree with you. You know what I would like to see? Honestly, actually, I'm gonna. I think modern should be donatable as well. I think you should be able to donate to the mod directly. That's what I believe. There's nothing function wise in place for that. I think I've just created a new invention for YouTube. I'm going to put that in. Get Don on the payroll. Don Backer is a fantastic individual. I believe this is not the only channel the mod for either. There's quite a lot of other modern activities that take place. Spencer Onyxon, Putin is dirt. Yeah, what he's doing is. I mean, you know what's crazy about this? We've all seen. We've all seen videos of not so long ago where he was, you know, mincing around with presidents, with prime ministers of countries, and then the next minute, like ravishing through countries. It's just, to me, it doesn't make any bloody sense how they can get away with it. You know, I've never understood that. I've never quite understood how individuals can quite simply get away with it. We're only talking one or two people, you know. I just don't understand it, man. It's just the way it goes, though. The Walker Group needs to be. Spencer, yeah, I get it, dude. You can't. Yeah, I get it, my friend. But yeah. So anyway, let's have a bit of a look. We were looking through that, we've seen that. Don't know what this is. Rebecca's putting quite a lot of stuff out, actually. Don't know who she is, but hey, got a lot of content on Ukraine. She has. I want to see what else is going down on this war map. Let's refresh it. Don Backer, YouTube takes 30% from you. They should give a small percent to mods that help them make money. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I think, you know, moderators are the silent heroes. I mean, my chat's all right. I think we've got like 200 viewers, but some of the people have like thousands of people. I'm quite lucky to have decent people on my chat as well, to be fair. But some channels you look at and go, blimey, the moderators definitely do some graft. But I agree, man. You know, even something. I'll be honest, Tom Sellers, I'm not on the sidelines when it comes to Russia. I believe they need to be defeated in Ukraine for the West's safety. Interesting. Spencer Onyxon. Hey, well, the thing is with that, here's my take on it. Slightly off topic, but I look at it this way. Like, YouTube's given me this fantastic platform, and I'm utterly grateful for that. I'm utterly grateful for everyone to get their cut, because without that, I wouldn't have had a platform. Does that make sense? So I'm one of the people who is quite for it. Fair's fair, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Team Skeptic says it's about the quality of the audience. I'd take 200 hardcore fans and 2,000 casual listeners. Yeah. To be honest with you, I've seen a lot of channels that would do quite well, and then it drops off. But I've steadily grew up to the point of where 2 to 4 to 500 strong listeners all the time. So I'll never complain with my channel. You guys will never see that with me. I'm very, very privileged and honoured to be able to do this. So you'll never hear me complain in that respect, guys. Especially when if we can have people on here having a good time. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're watching this, you're getting something out of it. In fact, let me know what you're getting out of it. Let me know in the comments. Why do you keep tuning in? What are you tuning for? Do you enjoy it? Are you having fun? Is it part of your day? Is it part of your schedule? What is it? What is it that brings you here? That's what I would like to know. Is it the community? Is it is it part of what you do in your daytime? I have my own channels that I watch that it's actually more of a routine. I know that at certain times that probably is going to be on. I'll tune in and I'll chill out because I don't watch TV. I just watch YouTube and I watch YouTubers. I'm actually a fan of YouTube. Outside of doing YouTube, I actually tune in all the time. Dunbacker says, brace yourself, I mod legal bites. We had 40,000 live in chat, 11 in lives in USA on YouTube, one super hated channel last 2 days, $20,000 in super chat just here alone. What? 20,000 in super chats yesterday alone. How does a channel get that many viewers, and how does it get that much in super? Fair play, man. Wow, that blows my brains. That's like a year's salary. I got less than that for a year's wages in the Royal Marines when I first started. That's a grafting my arse off. Spencer Onyx is good vibes, 20,000. Mate, if I could give you this money back, I'd be like, I don't know. I need to give you this money. I don't even know how to say it anymore, man. Dit Commando, I'm Aussie mate, just looking for my Pom Convict Master. Toxic, thanks for stopping by, man. Tom Sellers says that you like the company of most ex-servicemen. I find them down to earth and easy to talk to. It's interesting to listen to the stories. Plus, the community is normally good on these types of channels. You know what? I have to be. I am a bit biased, but if I'm not tuning into my, obviously I'll watch back some of my content and look at Peter. But I like to watch military channels as well for the same reason. It's like, although it's virtual and we'd all like to be in around people, the world has changed. We are in a very different time now, and things just, you either adapt and overcome or you don't, you fall by the wayside. And for me, getting involved in YouTube has allowed me to understand that there is still communities out there, albeit different. And, if you like the military, look, we've got over I would never sit in a room with 216 people all interested in the same topic. So in actual fact, we're creating a bigger thing online. And yeah, if we can, it's like-minded people, isn't it? We're all kind of, I would like to think of the similar type of mindset, if that makes sense. Cedric, the thing is, I am in the Philippines RN, I'm guessing Royal Navy is, and I find it sad that another Beijing's siding politician is risking to be elected this May. Right, okay, what else have we got? We've got a few things coming through. Infamies says, if Russia declares war on the May the 9th, should NATO declare special operation, boots on the ground in the Ukraine, no need to go into Russia? Thoughts? Ooh, that's a juicy one, that. I'm going to put that down as probably the best question of the night so far. Keep them types of quizzes coming, guys. Right, so at the moment, it's classed as a special operation, isn't it? What you're saying is, if Putin decides to change that narrative to a declaration of war, are other countries going to escalate their what they're going to do as a result? Are they going to change their, NATO's indirectly supporting? Will that suddenly become direct support? Again, I don't think so. I think terminology is a big thing, but I don't think it matters that much initially in this. I think it's another news headline and it's getting people interested, getting them talking, isn't it? May the 9th, May the 9th, what if it's a declaration of war? Hey, guess what? It doesn't matter if he changed it from a declaration of war to from a special operation. The same shit's happening there. People are losing their lives, and people are. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it doesn't change much as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the chats. Team Skeptic says, this is something I want to talk to you about live. I love your demeanor and approach. You have a bright future ahead of you on this platform. Mad respect for this vid I watched. First vid I watched. Well, thank you, brother. You've got a fantastic channel as well. I wish my production was as good as yours from the start. I've got like 500 shit videos. The Diamond Dog, did you work with the French Navy SF? I worked with, I can't remember the actual title, but I've definitely worked with, in the jungle, the Foreign Legion, the Airborne Commandos, I think they were. Mixed reviews about the guys I work with, actually. They got us lost in the jungle, and it took a British guy, my corporal, who was jungle warfare instructor trained, to get us out of there. So I instantly got my backup thinking, bloody hell, these guys are getting us lost in their own backyard. So mixed reviews. They didn't carry any kit or anything in the jungle with them to sustain themselves for the period of time we went in for, giving me the impression their supply chain must be either really, really good or they're heavily reliant on it. We took stuff in to sustain ourselves for a long period of time. Again, just different ways of working. Yeah, I had fun over there. Some of the guys were really, really good. Some of them really bad, believe it or not. I'm just being honest. But both, but the same can be said for our lot. You meet some great and some bad in every organization. But I had a lot of fun with them guys. But the ones you're talking about, French Navy SF, I don't think I've worked with them specifically. No. Spence Onyxon, 20 US. Thank you, man. What's a ruble worth today? I don't know. Do you want me to look? Let's have a look. 1 Russian ruble equals 0.012 pound sterling. So not a lot. Let's go 1 year. Actually, hang on a minute. It dipped on. Wow, guys, this is right, Spencer. I'm glad you've brought this up. So within the space of a year, so the 6th of May 2021, it was worth 0.0097. Yeah. And then for obvious reasons, the 1st of March, the 5th of March, it dropped down to 0.0059. And today, it's worth 0.012. So it's the highest it's been for an entire year. And within 5 years, it's the highest it's been since around the 10th of July 2020. So, yeah, I'm not going to say it's doing great or bad or anything, but you make of that as you wish. That's actually took me by a little bit of surprise, that. What else have we got in the chat, man? The Diamond Dog, nice. Hey, thank you, man. Toxic tentacles. The ruble is supposed to be bouncing back due to China and India trade. Well, it certainly looks that way, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Actually, I've been noticing my screen changes when, the light contrast of this white top changes when I change different screens. Right, let's see what the Ukraine latest news is today. Ukraine latest news: US to send more weapons. Oh, let's have a look at what the BBC is saying. Right, guys, let's. I'm just going to read through some of this stuff for you. Okay, so just to summarize this article, it's BBC. I believe it's BBC, yeah. So the US is sending a new package of military equipment worth $150 million to Ukraine. President Joe Biden says the weapons will support Ukraine's fighting on the front lines of freedom. In Mariupol, 50 civilians have been evacuated from Azovstal steelworks. Imagine still working in a war zone. Obviously, you need to, for certain reasons, to keep the economy and everything else going as best it can and helping out with the war effort. But imagine that. Imagine going to work and be like, right, see you later, love, I'm off to work. But there might be a real chance that we get bombed today or anything like that. It's crazy, man. What else in the summary? The humanitarian convoy took people to a reception center in the Russian-controlled town of Bezymane, and Russia and Ukraine have confirmed that the evacuation will continue on Saturday. Right, let's see what's going on here. Ukrainian officials are warning that Russian forces may escalate missile and airstrikes over the weekend ahead of Russia's planned Victory Day celebrations on Monday. Right, there's a lot being talked about on this. Is it on the 9th, I think? Is it the 9th? There's a lot being talked about it's Monday, right? I think. We need. I'm going to pay special attention to the news for the first time in a long time on the Monday, actually, for that reason, because I think it's going to be there's going to be a lot of things come out. We'll do a video on Monday for that reason alone. Whoa, Curtis Reynolds, thank you, dude, again. Wow, thank you for that very, very, very kind super chat. You're saying I watched a documentary several years ago before YouTube existed about the Russian military. There were generals living in rusted out hulls of ships because they couldn't afford anything else. That speaks to the quality of their military. Jesus Christ, that's horrendous, man. What's that documentary? Can you tell me what that documentary is? I wonder if it's on YouTube. If it is, I wouldn't mind doing a reaction on that. I haven't done a proper old school reaction for a long time, Curtis. You've just reminded me that I might need to start doing one or two, man. What's the name of the documentary called, Curtis? Thank you very much for that very kind donation, man. That super chat helped. Thank you so much. Dino says, have you seen that Putin's doomsday play with Fly in the victory play in the 9th? Right, so I actually seen something, right, seen a video. It was on YouTube, and it was regarding if he dropped like these thermonuclear bombs under the sea or something, it would like wipe out the whole of the United Kingdom. And these videos that were getting played is like, well, that's so unrealistic. It's just not even funny. All right, but loads of these videos are coming out, which just made me think, what the hell? The propaganda being like washed out in Russia is unbelievable, guys. But it's all down to like scam people as well, you know? I don't know. It's crazy, 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 crazy stuff. Anyway, getting back to this summary. Yeah, if you can let me know, Curtis, what that documentary is, buddy, I really appreciate that, man. I wish I could remember. It was on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals. Man, I want to watch that documentary. So, what is it saying? This regards. Right, so Ukraine officials are warning that Russia forces may escalate missile and airstrikes over the weekend ahead of Russia's planned Victory Day celebrations on Monday. In his daily late-night address, President Zelensky called on citizens to strictly follow the public order and curfew regulations in their communities. I'm not being funny, but you should not even be. He shouldn't even be having to reiterate that, especially the what's going on. We just don't need to explain that. That to me would be, yeah, okay, we're not going out. He says, I'll ask all our citizens, especially these days, not to ignore the air raid sirens. He said, please, this is your life, the life of your children. Residents also currently banned from visiting forests in formerly occupied territory because of a great threat of mines and tripwire mines left after the Russian military remains there. Be sure to comply with the ban, Zelensky reminded Ukrainians. This is another thing that we seem to forget with regards wars like this that are being fought out. It's the fact that, the scars of battle, the act of fighting is one thing, and it's terrible, and it's treacherous, and it's horrifying for everyone who witnesses it, and kids and women and children, and the soldiers shouldn't have to live through this horror. But when all is said and done, and trust me, all will be said and done at some point. We just don't know when that point is. But things don't just go back to normal after that. Like, you can't just go out for a walk, like you said, into a local forest. The mines and stuff that are there. Imagine that. I mean, I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say, the United Kingdom just doesn't have that kind of threat right now where, because of what happened in the 40s, you can't go certain places because we don't live like that. But we take for granted living in countries like I do where we're completely safe in that respect. These guys, how long are curfews in forests going to be after the war? People are not going to live a normal life in Ukraine for a long, long time after the war has ended, or the special operation, depending on what that gets changed into. On Monday, I guess we'll get to hear about that, won't we? But yeah, it's mental. What we got in the chat? Right, nothing in the chat as of yet. Again, guys, Curtis Reynolds, a few other guys, Spencer Onyxon, Patrick Stewart. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. All you guys are amazing. I appreciate you all, man. Spencer Onyxon again. Jesus, man. You're saying the fact that water mines are all over Breaking Anchor is uneasy as well. The fact that water mines are all over Breaking Anchor. Right, I didn't realise that water mines would still be a major thing that gets utilised in modern day warfare. The Royal Marines pertain to the Royal Navy. It's not really something that I thought of. Is that confirmed, Spencer? The fact that water mines are all over? Is that a known thing? Unfortunately, hopefully it Cedric, well, here in the Philippines, we have been in constant state of war against communist insurgents in Islamic. Yeah, right, Cedric. I watched about. Where's it? Where's the place in the Philippines that was literally destroyed? Begins with an M, I think. Marawi. Yeah, the Battle of Marawi, I believe. They confirmed that. I did a reaction on it. That place, that city was absolutely destroyed to bits what was going on over there. And most people were actually none the aware that it was happening. Most people none the aware that it was actually happening, which, it should be horrifying for everyone that these things can go on in the world unseen to a certain degree. Veteran Hoffman, yeah, I agree. It'll take a very long time for Ukraine to recover from any form of... Yeah, it's going to take a long time, guys. It's going to take a long time for them to recover. How long? I'm not too sure. But Cedric, Marawi. Yeah, Marawi. I mean, I've got family from Philippines as well. I've got family from the Philippines. So, yeah, it's... I was ignorant to the realities of certain parts of Philippines, and how I don't want to say religion, because it's not religion, it's ideologies within individual groups who wreck it for everyone, and that's what we're seeing in the Philippines. I'm not sure how it is in the Philippines at this moment in time with regards Marawi. But I'd imagine they wouldn't have made massive amounts of progress with redeveloping the place at this moment in time, because that place, if you haven't seen Marawi, in fact, I'm going to show you guys. This place was absolutely smashed to bits. So I typed in images for Marawi now. And this is what's come up, guys. These guys were fighting. Look at that. Look at that, man. These beautiful places absolutely destroyed. I mean, the Philippines is like... It's by The Guardian. 1 year after the battle, a ghost town still haunted by threat of ISIS. Mental. Marawi. Look at these temples and everything destroyed. Terrible. That's going to take decades to rebuild, probably. Right, so we'll get back onto this with Zelensky. So talking about the curfews that he's basically, in a nutshell, he's telling people to stay out of forests and stay out of the streets at least. Well, there's curfews in place anyway, but especially for this weekend with what's going on with on Monday the 9th, he's wanting to keep people as safe as they possibly can. What's going on here? U.S. First Lady visits Romania and Slovakia. U.S. First Lady Jill Biden has arrived in Eastern Europe on a 4-day trip intended to reaffirm the U.S. commitment to Ukraine. I wonder if she's pulling any of her money out of Ukraine, because her husband's earned quite a bit of money, allegedly, out of Ukraine. What do you reckon? He's earned quite a bit of money out of Russia and China as well, hasn't he? Hey, old Big Papa earned quite a bit of money. That's why she's got a smile on her face. Look. Got a nice smile on her face there, hasn't she? Because it's could be... Hey, who knows, guys? Anyway, I'm encroaching a little bit on America's politics there. What do you think about this, then? What do you think about that? Hey? Cedric, Gender Commando, see, Marawi reminds you of Mariupol, right? Yeah, I mean, Mariupol, and it just goes for... It gets forgotten about, doesn't it? It does get forgotten about. Troops, if you haven't liked the video yet, please smash the like button. I'd really like you to hit the like button to help me. It helps me out. It does help me out. Curtis Reynolds, 10% held for the big guy. Yeah, that was it. That was it. 10% held for the big guy. Oh, good old Sleepy Joe, man. He's a good lad, isn't he? She's counting bank. Too right she is, man. Look at this face, right? Look at that face. Look at that. She's happy, lad. Look. Oh yeah. War torn. It's all good. Look at it. Look at it. A good old fat general there. We all need a fat, high ranking general to be in place, don't we? Hey. That's why they get, I don't know, man. I don't know. We get deep in this. Cedric, you're saying yes. Open source intelligence confirms Hunter Biden earned a lot out of Ukraine and Bohai harvesting. Is that true? Is that true? So I haven't actually looked into this. I'm just looking on. Like I'll look into I watch Joe Rogan and stuff and other people, and then they're talking about. I'm like, what? Really? This is going on? Like there's a lot of people saying the same type of stuff, and then it makes me wonder how. How does that? How are they allowed to How are they allowed to get away with it, man? It blows my brains. It really does, man. Black Sheep 214, is Britain worried about Putin's nuke tsunami threats? Nah, because it was instantly debunked as for them to cause. They were saying 500-meter tall tsunamis, weren't they? Literally put the whole United Kingdom underwater, and they did the basic science of you'd need a hell of a lot more than the current capability that you threatening that. It's like who does that? What kind of who's going to gain anything out of that? This is almost so unbelievable that people are trying to think, is this real? But think about it, right? They're threatening to allegedly have a massive tidal wave cover the whole of the United Kingdom. Really, are we actually living on this planet right now? People are talking about these things. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's just mental that these things are even getting talked about. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Crazy, man. What time are we on? 23:36. Troops, I think we're going to wrap it up very, very soon. We're going to wrap it up very, very soon. Unless you guys have got anything else you want to talk about Ukraine specifically, because I think we have deviated slightly from the topic tonight. I mean, I did state at the beginning that I was quite happy to on today, but yeah, if you got any final questions and stuff, because sometimes we can take 20 minutes to conclude these things. Let's get on this again, actually. US First Lady visits Romania and Slovakia. Good old Jill Biden has arrived in Eastern Europe on a 4-day bender, 4-day trip, not a drinking session, 4-day bender in the United Kingdom, as we would say. Biden will meet national leaders as US troops as well as displaced Ukrainian parents, children, educators, aid workers in Romania and Slovakia. Well, good on you, Jill. You're a good egg. She began her visit on Friday by greeting serving food to troops stationed at a Romanian airbase. Top notch there. On Sunday, she is expected to spend Mother's Day with refugee mothers and their children in Kosais and border city in eastern Slovakia. This marks another high-profile diplomatic engagement by the US in the region following House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visit. Right, what's your thoughts on Nancy Pelosi? I know a lot of people don't like her. What's your thoughts on her? Let me know. Pets find shelter in Lviv. This was the summary, and now we're talking about pets. What's the crack here? Washington send more military aid to Ukraine. This is what we want to talk about. Have I missed a super chat question there? Have I missed something? Sorry if I have, guys. I don't think I have. Right, so the White House has announced a new package of security assistance for Ukraine that will include artillery, munitions, radars, and other equipment. Yeah, so if you haven't seen one of my other latest videos, the big talks about sending over the Phoenix Ghost drone, which is a Switchblade variant type bit of kit. Okay, very, very similar. United States is continuing our strong support for brave people of Ukraine as they defend their country against Russia's ongoing aggression, President Joe Biden said. Yeah, I'm glad they're supporting. They need it. What else we got? Right, nothing in the chat really. He says we're sending weapons and equipment that Congress has authorized directly to front lines for freedom. Biden said that existing funding for Ukraine was nearly exhausted and urged the US Congress to pass his proposed $33 billion assistance package to strengthen Ukraine on the battlefield and at the negotiation table. US officials said the latest arms package was worth $150 million. It's an immense amount of money that's getting sent there. Absolutely immense. Odessa region hit by missiles. Right, I'm done with reading that, to be fair. So I think the key things to take out from today and over the weekend. I don't normally do live streams on the weekend, but I probably will do something with regards, Monday's looming. What's going to happen on Monday? Are we going to see an increase effort by Russia and Ukraine over the weekend? I think we're going to see quite a bit of activity personally. I do. I think leading up to Monday, I think things are going to intensify. If there ever was a weekend that things were going to intensify, I do think it's potentially going to be this weekend leading up to Monday, just through the nature of what Putin is going to do on Monday with regards coming out, whether he changes it from a special operation to a declaration of war. What do you think that's going to change? Is it going to change anything? I think it is going to change a few things potentially, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to stay quite involved in the news, see what's going about. And yeah, I'm going to see what's happening. And hopefully nothing too bad happens over the weekend, but, I think things might intensify as a result, personally. But that's that. Troops, any final questions? I'm going to be yours for the next few minutes, up until quarter to the hour. And I'll try and answer them best I can. So get your quizzes in now. If you've got anything you want to ask, Black Sheep 214, love you. Keep kicking ass. Yeah, buddy, let's go. Dino, it's going to be a hot summer day. Hey, hopefully the weather's going to be hot, but I know where you're coming from, and I think you're probably right. I think I would love to understand better what the potential for NATO's involvement can be in the coming weeks and months. John Miller, do you think the current Lend-Lease Act reach the size of the world go to Lend-Lease? I apologize, I don't understand what you're saying. Might want to rephrase it there. Spencer, take it easy. God bless you and yours, and stay positive all. Spencer, thanks for stopping by. Spencer, I appreciate you today very, very much. I appreciate everyone today very, very much. If you've enjoyed having a bit of a chat with us, if you enjoyed the stream, then please press the like button. I do, aim to do this semi-often. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. So everyone that stopped by in the chat tonight, thank you. Everyone that's kindly super chatted to add value to the channel by asking questions, I owe you an awful lot. I really do appreciate you guys. And if I can do anything, I can just send you my happy thoughts, send you my thanks and appreciation. And yeah, guys, thank you very much. For those that said have a beer on me tonight, I'll definitely be having a beer after this. And yeah, Don Backer. Guys, let's get some love in the chat for Don Backer. This dude is literally modding the chat single-handedly. I appreciate you, dude. Team Skeptic, I look forward to my chat. I'll be in touch, brother. Take care, my man. I look forward to our chat too, my friend. And hopefully I can, hopefully we can speak to your audience as well. Guys, go follow Team Skeptic if you do anything tonight. Go give him a follow, guys. He's a great guy. Fantastic channel. Go check him out. Other than that, troops, if you haven't got any more questions, hopefully I'll see you on the next one, and I'll be in the comments hanging fire after the stream is seemed to have ended, just to try and answer anything that's come up. Curtis, Red Dome, Spencer, who else? Patrick Stewart. Wow, some massive super chats there, guys, from you. Wonderful, wonderful individuals. I appreciate you guys. But thank you very much, troops, for stopping by. I'll be in the comments. I'll see you later. Whatever you're doing, stay safe. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for turning up each and every day. I appreciate you all. Seriously.